Hi there, I'm David Mocker and you are joining me on the Mocker Pedaling how-to videos. Right now I want to talk to you about how to put a grip on your pedal. This is one of the most commonly asked questions. Where and how should I be holding my pedal? Where to put a pedal grip? A pedal grip is a fantastic way for you to know where your hand should go on the pedal shaft. There is an optimum place for your hand to go on the pedal shaft. So you want to make sure that you always put your hand in the correct place. Very often when we're pedaling, especially if you're pedaling in windy and choppy conditions, it's very common for your hands to migrate across the pedal shaft, and then before you know it, you are not symmetrical. So it's great to have a marker on your pedal shaft where your hand should go, so that while you're pedaling, your hand's always in the right place. You can just by feeling or by knowing where your hands are, you can position them correctly and your hands don't slide across the pedal shaft. It also helps to get a nice grip onto your pedal. So I want to show you my favorite way of doing it. I just put a little ridge on the actual pedal shaft. Some people put grip on there so that they'll run a handle along the length of the shaft. So insulation tape is a good way to do this, and it's nice and smooth, it's nice in your hands. Some people use like a tennis racket grip or a tennis racket over grip or even some plaster. I prefer the insulation tape. So let's go. Let's put this insulation tape onto my pedal. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have my hands in the right place and also at the length of pedal where I'm normally going to go. So I'd normally pedal on the 214. What you want to do, if you put your pedal on your head, your elbows want to be just at about 90 degrees. I'm going to make sure that I got them equal on the pedal shaft, and you can get very technical here and measure it out, but I'm just going to have a look. It looks about right. And then what I'm going to do, without letting go of my hand there, all I'm going to do is just stick a piece of tape around the pedal shaft. Make sure you've got a Stanley knife handy so you can cut the tape. That's my right hand done. I'm just going to make sure that I get my left hand in the right position. So just want to make sure that I get my tape in the right place. Once around the pedal shaft. Okay, so I've made a little mark as to where on the inside of my hands. Very important that this is fluid, so I have it normally that this ridge is then going to be underneath my forefinger and my thumb. Some people have it that their pinkies are touching the ridge. It can really go wherever you want it to go. This is where I'm going to put mine, and I'm going to make sure that it's just on my forefinger and my thumb. So I'm going to put the little ridge just on the inside of this mark over here. So what you do now is you stick the tape onto the pedal shaft, you roll down a length of tape, and then you give it a bit of a twist. And this is how you are going to create the ridge. So from here, all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to roll this over, and that's how I'm going to create the ridge on my pedal shaft. Right, so I've got the little ridge, and now all I'm going to do is just wrap the insulation tape around this nice and tight. And I can actually twist the pedal to do that. I give a bit of traction on the other side of the ridge. There we go. Now you can either just pull it off, or you can cut it off and you get a nice clean edge. But now I've got a nice little handle on my pedal shaft, and when I'm pedaling, that's where my hands are going to go. I'm going to make sure my hands are always in the same place so I can feel that little ridge underneath my fingers. It's going between my two fingers over there. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. And that's how I'm going to put pedal grips on my pedals. Hey, I want to thank you for watching this video and spending the time just to learn about how to use certain Mocker pedaling products and how to do things. It would mean the world to me if you could share this video with all your pedaling friends, all your pedaling groups, to make sure that we get this knowledge out there. Also, while you're at it, why don't you look us up on Facebook or Instagram and subscribe and like to all our channels. It would really help us, and it would be fantastic to have you on board and just follow what we do. Thank you.